Welcome to 10 for 10, a series of interviews with personalities and dedicated leaders across the major arena soccer league. I'm your host, Erik Bergrud. For this week's episode, I'm joined by Baltimore Blast owner, Ed Hale. Welcome to 10 for 10, Ed.
Nice to see you again, Erik.
Likewise. Let's get started. Throughout this season, we're exploring topics related to the business of indoor soccer. You originally purchased the Blast in the late 1980s and then repurchased it after the 1997-98 season. What inspired you to become a team owner?
Well, first off, it's kind of unusual. I've never played soccer. Most all the people affiliated with ownership and whatever all through the league have played. I never played soccer. I played football and tennis. So, make a long story short, the county executive in Baltimore County, I went to high school with and college with, said the Baltimore Blast is going to leave in 1988 and go to Cincinnati. And I said, what? Aren't they very popular? And he said, yeah, you can't let them go. This would be a disaster for Baltimore. So I bought the team. And there were 10 owners. They were all fighting with each other, all nice guys, but they just didn't like the cash calls and things like this. So I bought it. And that was 1988. And if that started me. If you want me to go right on to, I could go why I took a break.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, well, we had the players were represented by the NFL Players Association, and I became the chief negotiator for the league ownership almost immediately because I'd been dealing with Teamsters, longshoremen, and they thought I could help out. It turns out that they did not want to leave or go down on the salary cap. And I would say it was 1992 or 3. We got together and with the people in the union, in Baltimore, and they said we are not going to reduce the salary cap. I said, well, I think there's going to be a move afoot from the other owners to include Don Carter from Dallas, the Dallas Mavericks, and the Dallas Sidekicks. He said, I think that we should meet. And so we meet. We meet at my bank in Baltimore, and somebody put a motion in to leave in 1993 and just get out of it and just close it up, pay our bills and leave, because we couldn't keep up with that contract that they had. So that was it. And then another league, the NPSL, was already in play, and they got a team in Baltimore called the Spirit. They stayed and played for a few years, and then he decided that he didn't like it anymore. So I think it was 1997, 98. I came back in non-union, and that was it. I've been doing it ever since. It's been quite a while, and but I love it. I love the game. I think our game is fantastic. That even though I hadn't played, I love it.
So, as many longtime fans proudly proclaim, the Blast have won 10 championship titles. From your experience, what does it take to build a championship culture?
Well, it really, takes someone that can, make the payroll and pay the bills to do that. That's extremely important to getting proper ownership. Getting a coach that can get together the players that know how to go be acclimated from taking outdoor experience and playing indoor, which is easier these days because there's more indoor play. So getting acclimated, teaching them how to do this and teaching them how to play together is very important. Getting together a team that can play together, live together, travel together for the 6 months that we are doing this it's a difficult thing to do. And having a coach and coaches to do this, training staff, you have to have all those ingredients to make everything work. And that has to be consistent. The other thing is you really, really need to have a good sales staff, selling group sales, sponsorships, things like this. You need to have that along with really good dates with your landlord. You're a tenant. The Baltimore Blast is a tenant. Kansas City is a tenant. I don't know who owns the building there, but you got to be nice to them and you got to get dates. That's extremely important. All those things I just named, it's a long-winded thing or way to explain that if you don't have all those things working, you're going to fail.
So on the subject of coaches, the Blast have featured legendary coaches throughout its history, including Kenny Cooper and Danny Kelly. Current coach David Bascom has the team off to a fast start. What attributes do you look for when hiring a coach?
Well, in the case of Kenny Cooper was there when I bought the team. Kelly came in after a couple. He was captain of the team, and then he became the coach. And then COVID came, and then he left, and that was it. So Bascom comes in. David is a very, very good team. I guess he's a team-oriented person, almost like a family-oriented person, to get the team playing together and knowing their tendencies. And he was a gifted player when he was playing, when he came out of Bermuda and played for Harrisburg and then played for me. He's been with me, I think, 20-some years now. And he's got everybody playing together, and he is the person that through these different combines that the Baltimore Blast did this summer in New York, Charlotte, and Chicago, he's the one that got these players to come in. Half of our team right now is new, all new.
That's right. And again, off to a great start. Back to the subject of culture and championships. Do you begin each new season with the expectation of winning a championship?
I start the season that we don't ever want to lose a game. That's the way I am. I think, and most every owner, coach, player never wants to lose a game. That's how I started. And I'd like to be consistent, that we keep the team together to the extent that everybody's playing well together, not getting injured, making sure you manage the injuries so that when you get to the end of the season, we still have a full complement of players to play to make the playoffs and win the championship. That is the key ingredient for all of us. Make sure you don't run their legs off. I won't name the coach, but there used to be in the old days that, if you lost a game, you did 2-a-day practices. Well, by the end of the season, everybody was tuckered out. They were tired. They didn't really played well. And we don't do that anymore. We try to make sure that we manage everybody to the extent that the injuries are down and their energy is up.
Different kind of question for you, Ed. What was the inspiration to establish the Baltimore Blast Hall of Fame?
Well, I think that the history of our team, that was established before I came on with Kenny. We had Earl Foreman was the commissioner of the league, who's one of he was the best and is the best I've ever seen in terms of being a commissioner in a league. He thought that was a very good thing to continue, and I respected Earl very much. And Kenny Cooper had that too. He recommended that we keep recognizing the play of the older team, or the older players that have really contributed both on and off the field. And we do that every year. This year was Pat Healy. Pat Healy was a gifted player at Towson University when they had a team. Played for me all those years. His father was the general manager, now the president of the Harrisburg Heat. He's just got all the ingredients of being a Hall of Famer because he was there and played. He was a very, very tough competitor, a great captain of my team. And, he should have been recognized to be a Hall of Famer. And I think people really liked that. They really enjoyed that ceremony that we had about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. So thinking back over the years, is there one player who epitomizes what the Blast means to you?
There's a bunch of them. Danny Kelly, Lee DeChantre, Dennison Cabral. They all brought something different. Kelly and DeChantre were dogged competitors, and they were good defenders. Dennison was a flamboyant scorer, and he was a small guy, but he was really gifted. Mike Stankovich, that's an old name. I never knew Stan Stankovich, but Mike Stankovich, not to be confused. Stankovich was really a tough, hard-nosed player that I enjoyed watching him play all the time. And they were winners. They wanted to make sure that we never gave up. Kelly and DeChantre were two of the tougher competitors, never gave up when they played. They played every shift like it was their last shift.
According to the Blast website, you remain, quote unquote, dedicated to providing Baltimore's families with exciting sports entertainment at an affordable price while fielding the best team in all of indoor soccer. What drives you to provide value to Baltimore families?
Well, I want to make sure that we have a good fan experience. It's safe, beautiful, the food's good, it's easy to get in and out, and then we put a team on the field that is really gifted. We have a small arena. I get criticized for that, but we have no other place that we could play at this point. We don't have another place to play. But you're sitting on top. It seats about 4,000 people, and you get 4,000 people sitting on top of that field. It's really a great atmosphere. The vibe is very, very good, especially when you're winning like we are this year.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Ed, for joining us today. We'll be back next week with another episode of 10 for 10.